Okay, so this is Adventures in Video Blogging number 2. I'm going to try and review a movie here, Ant-Man. Previous video rambled on and on a bit. This is, I don't have as much to say here. In fact, I'm kind of even wondering as I turn on the camera, do I have enough to say about this movie to justify turning on the camera? Because it's one of those kind of movies where you're just like, yeah, it was alright. But like, nothing that I have anything profound to say about. So this movie came out like over a year and a half ago. And at the time, there was a lot of hype around it, and it was in the news and all that stuff about Edgar Wright leaving and people speculating. And I was really pumped to see it. And then I didn't get a chance to see it in the theaters. And then it's a funny thing with these blockbuster movies, like once the hype dies away, then there's really no reason to see it. I mean, like I still could have seen it, but it was like, well, why bother now? And I read reports that it was okay, but you know, like nothing that made me really want to see it. But then it was on TV just now. And so I thought, okay, I might as well knock this one off. You know, these Marvel movies, they create a sense of obligation, right? Because they all link together. So even though I'm seeing them out of order, like I saw Civil War and Ant-Man was in Civil War, and he'll probably be in these future movies to some degree. So you feel almost like it's homework. You got to kind of knock them off. And I was at home, I wasn't doing anything, and it just happened to be on TV, and I tuned in right when it was starting, so I thought, okay, I'll knock this one off then. One more Marvel movie checked off the list. A lot of people have been saying, way before me, that you know, we're getting superhero movie fatigue, and these movies are all starting to be the same, and I think that's true here. You can really see the formula. On the other hand, it's Ant-Man. So, you know, it's a bit of a bizarre superhero. So the formula gets... I don't want to say the formula gets subverted, but because it's still the same formula, but it's more the techniques. Is that the word? The techniques are a bit more interesting because now he's fighting things when he's small. So like that last action sequence would have been interchangeable from just about any other Marvel action sequence, except it was taking place in a child's bedroom on like a miniature level where they were fighting on the toy train. And so that in itself was just was an interesting little twist that made the movie kind of worth seeing. It's funny, but it's not quite as funny as you might wish for. I thought it was going to be funnier than it was. None of the jokes at sometimes got a for me, but like nothing which really made me laugh. But yeah, it was all right. Michael Douglas was good in this. Yeah, I was reading somewhere, I think this was on the Uproxx site somewhere. I'm not sure if I can find the link. They said they really missed an opportunity here. They should have done like a prequel movie, or have the prequel have been the first movie, and this be the second movie about Ant-Man. And the first one, it would be like Michael Douglas, or maybe like a younger actor, being the original Hank Pym during the Cold War era, and have done like a James Bond kind of period piece, kind of like they did with the first Captain America, or have it being in the 60s instead of the 40s, and have established the legacy of the first hero. And then this movie could have been like the sequel to that movie, and I thought, yeah, it's kind of a missed opportunity. They should have done that. It's not my idea. It's something I read somewhere, but I agreed with it. But, you know, once you actually settle in for this movie, it's, you know, it's a formula movie, but they do the formula well. From the first scene, you're kind of invested, and then You just kind of get hooked by the regular character hooks, and you go through the motions, and then the climax is the same old kind of fighting and punching and jumping around, but the changes in size were interesting enough to justify sitting through it all over again. So I think I'm gonna give it a 6. It gets 5 out of 5 just for being a competent. Sorry, it gets 5 out of 10 just for being a competent superhero movie. And then the Ant-Man technique, the little changes in size, give it another point for being interesting. So 6 out of 10.